Hey everybody, today I'm making a sweet potato casserole. This is a family favorite of ours. We love it around holidays, and of course we love it anytime that I am willing to make it or can make it. It's easy, it's delicious. In fact, it's so delicious it almost tastes like a dessert. But with Easter coming up, it'll be a great side to add to your menu if you'd like to. And today I'm actually going to double the recipe. We had a death in our church, and our ladies are serving the family before the service, and so I wanted to share the recipe with you while I'm making it to share with them. So let's get busy and we'll make this sweet potato casserole together. When I make a sweet potato casserole, I use fresh sweet potatoes, and I wanted to tell you and show you exactly how I prepare those before we put our casserole together. I have 6 large sweet potatoes, and any that I have left over the sweet potatoes, I put those in my freezer, and I go ahead and measure out the amount that I need for a casserole, and then I have them ready. And this time I didn't have any in the freezer, so I had to start from scratch, and I wanted to share it with you. So what I did, I took my fresh sweet potatoes and I washed them really good, used a scrub brush, and I scrubbed them to make sure that I got all the dirt off. Then I put them in a large pot, covered them with water, put them on the stove, turned it on high, brought them to a boil, and boiled them until they were tender. I took them out, put them in this colander, and let them cool until I could handle them. So now I'm just going to cut the ends off the potatoes like this, and I'm going to peel the potatoes, and the skin just comes right off. Sometimes you'll see a little eye in there, a little piece of maybe the root or something, a little stem. And so then I just put it in, I'm going to move this so that you can see it. I put it in my mixing bowl to my stand mixer, and once I get all the potatoes peeled, I'll take my whisk attachment on my stand mixer, and I just mix the potatoes up, and that's how I mash my potatoes. You could just mash them with a hand masher if you wanted to, a potato masher or anything like that, but that's how I do prepare the potatoes when I make my sweet potato casserole from scratch. So let me get this done, and then I'll be back and we'll put our sweet potato casserole together. Okay, I have mixed our potatoes and measured them out, and today I'm making a double recipe. So I have 6 cups of mashed sweet potatoes, and I wanted to show you this. This is the reason that I use my electric mixer. Sometimes you get potatoes and they're really, really stringy. These weren't so bad, but it did collect this many strings, this much strings from the potatoes that I don't want in my sweet potato casserole. So we have 6 cups of sweet potatoes. To that, I'm adding 2 cups of sugar. Now keep in mind as we go along, and I may say this several times, that we are doubling this recipe, because I don't want you to think that, oh my Lord, that is way too much. But I will say this about the sugar. If you don't like yours as sweet as we like ours, you can cut back on the sugar and just use as much sugar as you want to, or as little sugar as you want to. So we're just mixing this up. Next, we're going to add 4 eggs. So let me get those going here. I have 4 eggs, and I'm going to use my electric hand mixer and just mix these up just as quickly as that. Now, we'll add those to our potatoes and our sugar. Y'all, this is so simple, and it is so delicious. So we're just going to stir this around, mixing it really well. You could use a whisk if you wanted to. I just sometimes prefer a big spoon. It works just as well for me, but you want to mix it so that all of the sugar dissolves and the eggs are mixed in. I like to mix my eggs with a little hand mixer because it helps to thicken and to more evenly distribute the eggs in the souffle. So now we just need to add our butter, and I have melted 2 sticks of butter. And here again, remember that I'm doubling this recipe. So you would just use 1 stick of butter. You could use less if you wanted to. And I used salted butter. You could use unsalted if you wanted to, but I like the salted. So we're just mixing this around, incorporating all that good butter into this casserole. Y'all, it's just going to be so delicious. Now, I have preheated my oven to 300 degrees. I cook mine slowly, and it'll take probably 45 minutes to an hour. You just want it to get to where it's, you can tell when it's done. It'll be firm, but it'll be soft and moist as well. So there's a little piece of potato peel, I think. So we want to make sure we get that out. And then, guess what we're adding? We're adding this wonderful, wonderful vanilla that I love so much. And y'all, because I'm doubling this recipe, I'm using 2 tablespoons of Miss Mert's clear vanilla. I just love it. Oh, it smells so good. So we're just going to mix this up. And we are just about ready to put this in our baking dish. Because I'm taking this off to be used to serve the family who is grieving the loss of their loved one, I'm going to be using just a throwaway pan today. So now we just need to pour our sweet potato casserole into this 9 by 12 baking dish. And I'm going to swap over and get a spatula so that I can get it all out. You know, I don't like to leave anything because sometimes people just leave a complete serving in the bowl. And this is good leftover too. So now we're just going to spread this out evenly. And let me tell you one of 2 things that you can do here. We can go ahead and mix up our topping and put on it and go ahead and bake it. Or if you are planning for a crowd or you're planning to take this somewhere and you want to get a head start, you can make it to this point and then you can cover it and put it in the refrigerator. And then when you get ready to bake it, you can take it out of the refrigerator, mix up your topping, and bake it at that point. Because the topping is going to have brown sugar in it, if I was going to make it to this point ahead of time, I wouldn't put the topping on it. I would wait until I got ready to actually bake it. So now we'll get ready to make our topping, and I'll show you how to do that. For the topping, remember that I'm going to double the recipe, just like I did for the potatoes and the mixture that we have already made up. So I'm starting out with 2 cups of brown sugar. To that, I'm going to add 2/3 of a cup of self-rising flour. And I'm just using a little fork here to start mixing with. I'm going to use my hands in just a minute, and I have on some gloves. I'm adding 2 cups of chopped pecans. Now, this is going to be rich, but it's going to be so delicious. And it goes a long way. It serves a lot of people. This is great, great, great for Easter, for gatherings, and just anything that you can think of. I love to make just a half a recipe for me and Doug. So now I'm adding our butter, and I added 2 sticks, which is 1 cup of melted butter. So we're just mixing this around, just like that. And we're going to spread this on top of our casserole. Okay. So now I'm going to bring our casserole back over. I'm going to take my glove off because I think I'll spoon it on. So here's our casserole, and I'm just going to put our topping on the casserole, spreading it out. Can't you just see how this is just going to be so delicious? You almost want to think when you're mixing up the topping that it's going to be too much, but it is not. It's just the right amount for a double recipe. So now I'm just going to take my spoon, spread it out evenly. I might take a fork, that might help to do it. Just, you can use any utensil you want to. The point is to get the job done. Oh goodness. I've preheated my oven to 300. I like to cook mine slowly. If you want to cook it a little faster, you can. Sometimes I'll start out on 300 and get it to going real good. Let it cook for probably about 45 minutes and then turn it up maybe to 325 or 330 and finish cooking it. So there you have it. We're going in the oven with it, and when it gets done, I'll be back. So our sweet potato casserole is done. It's out of the oven. You can see it right here. I'm not going to be able to dip it today because I'm sharing with a family, but I wanted you to see how beautiful and how luscious it is, and I'll have the recipe at the beginning of the video for you. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. Thank you for always supporting me, liking and sharing my videos, and I will see you again really soon.